I've not hit a PR on overhead press or bench press for years. Literally years. It has to be 3 years by now, if not longer. I remember I hit 140 kilos the time that I was pushing push-ups at the start of the Squat Everyday program. I reckon like within the first 100 days, I reckon I did that, or maybe 150 or something like that. I remember I did lots and lots and lots of push-ups. And I was doing bench press, I think, twice a week, just simply working to a heavy single, maybe on the day spending a few reps on like a few singles at the top, things like that. And I remember I went from 130 to 140 in that time, kind of span of like maybe, I don't know, 4 weeks, something like that I did that. And then since then, nothing, just vacant land, vacant plateau, nothing to see. Obviously, I mean, I don't want to make excuses, but I never really trained it that seriously for a prolonged period of time. I don't know. I mean, I still have hopes of hitting 180 kilos in the bench press, but I realize it's not going to happen if I'm not that serious about it. For some reason, man, I don't know what it is about me, but like I don't have a lot of motivation to just sit on the bench, lay on the bench and do bench press work. Number one, I don't like lying on my back because I feel like I get sleepy, I start yawning, and then I get pissed off at myself. Number two, the shoulders start to feel crap, and in recent memory, also my elbows started feeling crap when I added the bands. So I've kind of had a few goes at trying to get excited about it, but it never really clicked. It never really clicked for me, and clearly you're not going to be walking into a 180 kilo bench press if you're not really passionate about it and if you're really, really keen about it. I'm a squat and deadlift kind of guy. That's where I get all of my fun from. But having said all of that, I do have much less excuses when it comes to overhead press. Whether the overhead press is going to carry over to the bench press, I'm not sure. Historically speaking, for me, it hasn't. In fact, the opposite is true. When I hit the 140 bench press, my overhead press went up. So my max is 85 kilos on the overhead press. That's kind of where I am. And I have not hit 85 kilos on the overhead press for a long time as well. But today I hit it. And why? Well, in the recent time, I mean, I've spoken about this a little bit. This is the thing. I don't show everything I do on these videos. Otherwise, they'll be really, really long videos. So I've spent some time doing weakness training. So wide grip bench, incline bench, flies, dumbbell flies, pec deck, machine, all that sort of stuff when I've been coming to the gym. And somehow that's translated to some gains in the overhead press. So 85 kilos today. I tried 90. That would have been a PR. Failed it. So I don't know, man. I want to get excited about these things, but as what I've read, with the stretching, it's a lot easier mentally to focus on one thing. It's kind of like it's kind of the repetitive thing that I keep hearing about. If you want to stretch and you're not a stretchy kind of guy, you've always kind of ran away from it, like me. They say that just basically focus on one, focus on the middle splits, and spend all your time doing that. Maybe add another stretch, but that is max. Because if you start doing too much, then you're gonna get burned out, and you're gonna get bored of it, and you're gonna move away from it because it's not a passion of yours. That's kind of how I am with training. I kind of got sick of training like 10, 15 years ago, when it was like the bodybuilding split, and it was just too much noise. I couldn't focus. There's a lot going on. But the moment I started specializing, and the moment I started thinking to myself, which lift do I want to specialize in? Oh, look, squats feel shit. Why don't I specialize in that? And that obviously took a hold of me, and here I am, all this time later, just thinking about squats most of the time. But that's kind of how my mind, my personality works. I don't like too much variation for some reason. Basketball worked for me because here is a ball, here is a ring, shoot, non-stop. And I just perfected my stroke. I got to a point where I could hit, I can't remember what I was doing. Like, I remember once I hit 80, I'm going to lie now. I think my max was like 87 or 88 free throws out of 100 attempts. That's kind of what I did. I'm like kind of like that, that personality. If you can imagine somebody in your life that was like that as well. I just wanted to focus on one thing, or I'm going to be the best freaking free throw shooter around, and just perfected my stroke. And I do acknowledge that very thing made it worse for me in my total game, because I neglected other parts of my game. I didn't have a left hand. I wasn't good driving left. I would always go right. I would always, do these like predictable things that the opponents that, knew me a little bit would just overpower me. Like they just send me left, send me left, send me left. So I do realize that variation is the key to a lot of things in life. But in terms of like getting me excited to do the work, that's what I need. My passion for lifting, for training exploded when I, liberated my mind from these cookie cutter programs and you got to do this, you got to do that. Oh, it's Monday. Everyone does chest on Monday. It's International Chest Day. Like these types of things, man. Like I don't know what it is about me, but I do like going against the grain. I do like being different. I like being a free mind. I want to think for myself. These types of things. So every time I'm thinking about, attempting a new skill or trying to get excited for a new thing, I look for these excuses. I look for these reasons. I look for these, deeper kind of seated things that I want to achieve. It's not just, oh, everyone does this, so you need to do that. That doesn't work for me. I wouldn't be training if I just said that to myself. So the moment I started, thinking to myself, you know what? Let me try this outlandish idea of mine, squatting every day and doing this. And that kind of feeds me because it's different and it's like a new side quest. It's I don't know, it excites me. So the bench press, I want to get to 180 obviously, and I'm not going to be able to get there if I don't do it. But I also want to be able to do it and not be in pain. Not feel shit and get knots in my upper back, these kinds of things. So you can see that I'm trying to balance a few things here. I want to make bench press nice, and maybe overhead pressing, getting really good at overhead pressing is going to make my shoulders feel nice when I bench press. I don't know. So, it's a tertiary goal for me. And if the tertiary goal is making me feel shit, it's not going to be a goal anymore. That kind of thinking. With squats, when they really hurt me with the hip, I persisted because that's really the core of my existence in the gym. So I persist and I persist. But if squats were like my 10th goal, I wouldn't be doing squats, man. It's just the way it is. That's how I think about it. Whether that's healthy or not, I'm not sure, but that's me. And so today, overhead press never hurt me. It always feels kind of nice. So maybe I'll just use that and kind of like, trickle in occasionally when I feel really nice, do some bench pressing, but spend most of my time on the overhead press, shoulders, triceps, that kind of thing. I don't know. It's just me thinking aloud. Maybe it's not going to work, but I have a lot more fun doing overhead press. I'll be honest with you. That's really the case with me. Appreciate you guys, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.